if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And that, I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. And you could figure out you saw us pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to get, and I running back coach was like, biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial, the Martin Houston Show fan page on Facebook. It is a beautiful Monday morning, and we are live and local on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9 on the radio dial, the Martin Houston Show fan page on Facebook. Martin Houston Live or at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. Give us a like, give us a follow. Let us know you're out there. Interact with us this morning. We got a lot to talk about as Alabama has done their thing on the hardwood. We'll also have spring practice starting. But before we get into that, I want to remind you that this is a day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Take some time today to interact with us at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. Love to hear from you this morning, or you can post your thoughts, your comments, and be a part of the conversation via our social media outlets. Already getting some comments from CJ Watson. Good morning, CJ. Good morning, DH Bates. I'm sure others will be joining as well. But SEC tournament champions, what a finish to that game. CJ Watson posting those thoughts and comments. As I said, you can be a part of the conversation with the Taco Casa hotline at 205-342-9904. Good morning, Joe. How you doing, sir?
Oh, Martin, I'm still on cloud 9 from the weekend. I'm having a great day so far. Let's keep it rolling into the next week. SEC champs, baby.
Yeah, hey, it's interesting. First time in a long time taking home both regular season and in terms of anybody doing that. SEC tournament, Alabama winning their 7th SEC tournament. It's hard to believe that that's number 2. In terms of the SEC behind Kentucky. You look at that, Joe, and we always say, well, can we be both a football school? Can we be a basketball school? And I love Nate Oates' response. Why don't we just be a school that wins championships? It don't have to be either or. We can be both and. Let's just keep winning championships. I thought that was a pretty neat opportunity or comment from him. But, when you really think about it, Alabama is the second best program in the SEC historically, right? From a win standpoint, from an SEC tournament standpoint. Did you realize it had been that long since Alabama won an SEC tournament?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
After getting into the season, you start to look ahead, as we do in this industry, and realize, wow, it has been since '91 since they have won an SEC tournament championship. And Martin, I've got a bunch of interns, and we got our little message group going. And I heard, was anyone in this group chat alive the last time they won an SEC? I said, excuse me, yes, I was alive. But yeah, it's been a long time coming. First time since 06, 07 that a team has won the regular season, a tournament title, and the SEC football championship all in one go. So what a weekend for the Crimson Tide.
Now, I hadn't seen that stat. Was that Florida?
Yes, your Florida Gators, your Joakim Noah and Tim Tebow years. They did the double in basketball and one in football as well.
Did they win a national championship that year as well?
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. Can we do that? Alabama. Hey, listen, I'm just talking about the fact that we're having that conversation about Alabama potentially even being seriously considered, Joe. Seriously considered in basketball. I mean, it's not even whether we win it or not. We're actually in the conversation. And this weekend, I think this from Friday till Sunday, it was a good thing for this Alabama basketball team. There was some good, bad, ugly that came out of the this past weekend, Joe. So as we kind of talk about the good, bad, and ugly, of course, the ugly started things off with Primo getting hurt in terms of his knee, but it doesn't appear that it's as bad as it initially looked. And it looks like he will be back for this weekend, hopefully to some degree. I'm going to tell you another ugly and concern, and let me ask you your thoughts on it, Joe. Can Alabama win it if Bruner is not playing any better than he played in the tournament? Can we advance deeper?
Well, Jordan Bruner kind of struggled offensively over the weekend, but I'm with you. I think that we want to see Jordan Bruner increase his output, increase his level of play. But you just saw it. The team overcame, not much production out of that position over the weekend to win an SEC tournament championship. I think that LSU is LSU and Tennessee are some of the most talented teams in the country. You remember Tennessee was predicted to be preseason SEC champions. So I think Alabama proved that they can play without him or without a lot of production at that position. But of course, you want to get as much production out of everyone as possible.
Yeah, you could tell he just didn't seem to be himself, and that's not all bad at this point, being that you got through with the wins, as you said, Joe. And when you watch that basketball game, several things begin to pop out. Some of the things you've seen all season, as you watch not just that game, but as you watch the entire tournament. Several things you've seen all season, several things you've seen getting better. I would love to hear from you, the listeners. You're good, you're bad, you're ugly. You can call us at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. Two of the uglies was, like I said, Primo getting hurt and Bruner, like I said, struggling a little bit from the offensive standpoint. But did that ugly potentially lead to a good, and even maybe get you a little excited about even looking if we could preview just a little bit, Joe, into next season? One of the things that I look at this team and go, okay, next year we'll replace John Petty's shooting. We'll have more shooters, right? But there's something about this basketball team, and Simeon and I talked about this. You have to play. I kept saying 60, and he go, Dad, it's 40. You have to play 40 minutes to beat this team. You cannot play. You can't take any time off against this team. If you're off offensively, this team will run away from you. If you're off defensively, they'll run away from you. And if they're off, they'll keep it close. They'll fight to keep it close enough. You watch that Tennessee game, and it's just hard to believe that it was like 15 points, and then the next thing you know, couple good shots, couple defensive stops, and all of a sudden you were right back into the game. But there's something about this team, and we hear it in football a lot, Joe, and we hear it in basketball, but it's usually not what Alabama is known for, and that is their identity. This team has a clear identity, and I think that identity was we talk about shooting, right? We spend a lot of time talking about how good this team shoots and how many threes they shoot. Have they won their biggest games because of their shooting or because of the identity that Herb Jones gives this team? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking a question.
I was.
Over the weekend, they showed it. The 3-point shooting wasn't all there. I mean, yeah, they took a lot of 3-point shots and made a good bit of them, but it wasn't the strength of the team this weekend. The defense really, in the 2 runs that they made to get back into the games with Tennessee and LSU, the defense drove the runs and it created easy buckets on the offensive end. And that's their calling card. They're top 5 in the country in defensive net rating, and I think that's what's going to lead them farther down the road in the big dance.
Absolutely, and that's what I love when you look at this team. You know, I love watching this team. I love the fact that they can put up the threes and they can shoot the threes. But I heard a guy last night said 2 things. It was one word, and we'll go to break and then we'll come back and discuss this. But there was one word that he described that he used to describe this team, and I'm like, that's it. That's what makes this team go. And so if you're out there listening and you had one word to describe this team, what would your word be? Joe, you can think about it. Callers, listeners, viewers, followers, you can think about it. And coming back on the other side, if you had to use one word to describe this team, what would it be? We're going to have that conversation. I have a word for this team. I want you good, you bad, and ugly. What's your one word to describe this basketball team? We're talking about that and more right here on the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. Remember, Alabama basketball. Wow, Joe. Wow, Alabama basketball. 23-6. They absolute SEC champions, both the regular season and the SEC tournament, and they cutting down the nets. How deep can they go? How deep can they go? There's a poll question at Martin Houston 35. At Martin Houston 35, poll question up. Will they get into round 2 or will they be a disappointment, get put out in round 1? Can they get to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, or Final 4? You can go to Martin Houston at Martin Houston 35 and reply to the poll question there on Twitter at Martin Houston 35. Coming back, what's your one word to describe this team? What's the good, bad, and ugly from this weekend's game? We've talked a little bit about the ugly. We'll talk about the good as well. Come on, let's talk right here on the Martin Houston Show. 205-342-9904.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, so far so good as we begin this Monday morning. In Tuscaloosa, no wrecks reported on highways or the interstate, but some light drizzle falling, so make sure you drive carefully as you make your way into the office this morning. From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, I'm Meg Summers. Take advantage of big savings and huge rebates now with a stimulus sale at Townsend Nissan at Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa.
This is Renee. Happy to be here. She's not some influencer. She's more of a groundbreaker, turning her 4-acre lot into a little slice of heaven behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Renee runs with us because the most important job is the next one. That's all I got. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Hey, Alabama, I'm attorney overpaid.
Do you want an attorney that you'll only see on TV or a billboard? I'm attorney Stephen Mizrano with the Mizrano Law Firm. And you won't only see my face on TV, but you'll also see me in the courtroom, at the settlement table, and by your side. If you've been injured, call me, 205-206-6300. That's 205-206-6300. My number one priority is to take care of you and your family's needs.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than other lawyers.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to babbel.com today. That's BABBEL.com.
Shoe Station Spring Sale is happening now, and you can save big on comfortable, stylish footwear from Skechers. Shop the latest Skechers collections, including Skechers Arch Fit and Skechers Max Cushioning. Text Station to 87573 for a 25% off coupon. Plus, go to youneednewshoes.com to enter to win free shoes for life or $10,000 cash. Shoe Station Spring Sale now through March 31st. Again, text Station to 87573 to save 25% on Skechers styles at Shoe Station.
Cloudy with a good chance of showers and thunderstorms through tonight. The high today 76, the low tonight 66. Tomorrow, occasional showers with a high at 77. Wednesday, thunderstorms likely. Storms Wednesday afternoon could be severe. The high 78. I'm James Spann on the ADC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 65 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at sophmartdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster, makes us stronger than ever. After our work is ever over. Work it harder.
Welcome back in. It is a beautiful Monday morning, and we are live and local, and we are looking for your interaction. We're looking for good, bad, and ugly. There may not been any bad. There may not been any ugly in your opinion. It could have been all good. Alabama wins another SEC tournament championship, number 7, first one in 30 years. I just marvel at that because I'm thinking, wow, the last time they won the SEC tournament was before this 50-year-old won a national title in football. That just kind of lets you know we're called a bridge team, Joe. The 92 team, because we bridged a 30-year gap with one national title. Okay, so that's the way we refer to ourselves, and not from the 92 team as the bridge team. From Bears' last national title to Saban's first one, there was a 17-year gap after a 13-year gap. But this program had gone 30 years without an SEC title. Do you think I could rerun my poll question now, Joe, and ask, is this season better than Nick Saban's second season? And you think those people, because more people actually said, let me go back and look at that, pull that poll up real quick.
While you're doing that, I think that absolutely you can go back and rerun your poll. I think a lot of people were stuck on, you got to battle the football loyalist from the Alabama fan perspective, and there's nothing wrong with being a football loyalist. It's a great sport, and we love it. We love being successful in football. But I think that having NATO, bringing the program to a regular season championship, and now if you reran your poll doing the double championship, I think that you just adding up chips in the Nate's corner to say that his second season, this is no disrespect to Nick Saban, but is better than Nick Saban's second season.
Absolutely. When we ran it the other day, 46%, almost 50% of those who responded said that Nick Saban. It says, who had the better season? Where's the record? Rank in comparison to Nick Saban's second season. Better than said 19%. 35% said equal to. 46% said less than Nick Saban's second season. Wow. It was hard for me to even go there last week. But I may have to re-ask that question. I have two questions from last week, Joe, that we may have to bring back up. I give people enough time to spring forward and simmer on yesterday and what happened. But we said what was going to be the hottest ticket and which season was better. we very well may find out that there may be a few more. We very well may get a little bit more excitement about this basketball program. You have John Petty, Thomas Irwin said, if John Petty gets back on track with his three-point shooting, Bama can make a deep run. Joe, we just won the SEC championship without Nathan Bruner playing well, without Petty being hot on the three and losing Primo. I'm telling you.
Get you so excited about this team is they're so deep and they've got so many different ways they can win, and they're really balanced. Of course, we all love when Petty's making them from three all over and over and over again and super hot, but we don't necessarily need him to fill it up for 25 a night to be successful.
That's right, because somebody steps up every night. Somebody steps up quinternally. Alex Reese hitting big threes at timely moment. Ellis hitting big-time threes, making defensive plays at the right time. Shackelford just taking over at points in the game. I mean, it's just amazing. And then Herb doing what he does. Got a few callers. I'm looking for your word. If you had one word to describe the team, what would it be? And guess what? You know what? I forgot, Joe. Spring practice starts Friday. But let's talk a little basketball. Pat, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, man?
Martin, the only word that comes to mind is defense. Because I've called before, and that live and die by the three. Oh, I just say so short. But he's made it work.
He doesn't live it. See, that's a misnomer about him. He never said we were going to live and die by the three. He said we'll shoot the three based on analytics. But he said we will play both ends of the court hard. And I misunderstood what he said. Would you agree with that, Joe? He never said that we were going to live and die by the three. He said we were going to be a lunch pail team. That's why he came in with the hard hat award.
Certainly agree with you. Everything starts on the defensive end, and that opens up the offensive philosophy.
Right, absolutely. So go ahead, Pat.
You and I both about the same size, around a 52 regular.
No, Pat, I'm like a 42 slim.
Oh, you that small now?
No, Pat.
But look, Gordon, that you realize you can't find a plaid sport coat at any thrift store in Alabama. I mean, it's virtually impossible. And they kept showing that big guy on TV, and I don't know if you got to see him or not.
I did.
And he only got a plaid sport coat on. I don't know where he found a plaid sport coat, but my hat's off to him. and I want to. If this goes back to, I
what Coach Samerson did, and but to have something special like that again, I think is great. And but now here's my question for you: that are the fans going to be happy with anything less than a Final Four? Showing myself, I think that an Elite Eight showing and having just won the SEC championship, that I think this will be an extremely special season. And whether we get knocked out in the first round, having won the SEC championship, hey, my hat's off to Coach Oates as being an overachiever. What do you think?
I would say Elite Eight. Anything other than Elite Eight may feel like a disappointment in the moment, but I think in the long run, when it all settles, I think that if this team doesn't do anything more than what it's done, you have to feel good how this season is paralleling to what happened in football. Went out and got the top players from the state of Alabama to come here a few years back, got the right coach. Of course, Nick Saban brought Julio Jones here, but even with that, Nate Oates took these local Alabama kids, and it's Alabama kids that are tied with bringing Alabama basketball back, just like Julio Jones is forever tied with Alabama football. I think, Pat, you'll begin to see Alabama basketball, you already do see, become more of a national product. But what they've done this season, I think, as D.H. Bates is saying on Facebook, heck, I'm happy with all caps now, right, exclamation point. I think a lot of people are happy now. If we lose in the first round or before Elite Eight, it'll be disappointment. But if we get to I know there's one group of people praying we don't get to the Final Four, because then once again we would have did everything that Auburn's been able to do in basketball, and they won't have that. That was a short-lived one-up on Alabama. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate you, sir.
Martin, thank you. Y'all doing a fantastic job there. Have a great day.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Let's bring in Robert. Robert, you in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, man?
Good morning, guys. It's been a great weekend, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
If you had one word, I'd say faith. F-A-I-T-H, spiritual term, because this team seems to have a lot of faith in each other.
It is absolutely. They trust each other, and they're so unselfish. I mean, when you're this good and your top dog is like 14 point something points per game, is the high man, and you know, it's just it's a fun thing to watch, Robert. I like that word, faith. You got anything else for us?
Yeah, you said the good, the bad, and the ugly. Of course, the good was the weekend. The bad, the attitude of the LSU players. And the ugly, I was a little shocked at one of our assistants, Headway. He's a great guy, but if you watched any of that footage and that film they kept having on Twitter, and even ESPN had it, that it looked like he started that with the LSU assistant. That's just not the Alabama way. We've always showed class, and I was just a little disappointed at that.
Well, I hadn't seen all the way talking about, but don't ever go by the footage you see, because remember, most of the time people don't start recording till what? Till they see something happening. And the guy who usually gets caught, and I'm not saying Petway did or didn't do it, because I don't know. A lot of times when you watch a video, the video don't record the whole thing because they weren't recording before. They started recording once they saw something happening. I don't know if you caught our coach may have even said something kind of ugly at the end of the game to the LSU coaches. So I think it was a personal thing.
And I was wondering if that's what it was.
Huh?
I caught some of that. I was wondering if that's what he said, but I wasn't quite sure.
I'm not quite sure either, but it was there's no love lost between Alabama and LSU in basketball. I think I think we may have just found the same thing that happened in football with the LSU Alabama. I think we may have just got a little bit of that going moving forward for basketball after yesterday.
Watford was he was when he was being recruited. Pedway and Jones, kind of tweeted out to him, we'd like for you to come here. And it's a known fact that he said, well, I want to go somewhere where I can win a championship. So he's probably going to leave after this year, his sophomore year, but he's 2 years at LSU, don't have a championship, and those guys do. And I think that's a lot. He let him know it at the end of the game yesterday, too.
Yeah, I think the Trendon Walford thing, I think had Nate Oates been here, Walford would have ended up at Alabama. And you can't blame the kid. I never forget seeing him, Robert, when he committed. He looked like a sick puppy that did not want to commit to LSU. But I think they had him over a barrel, and we'll leave it at that for why they had him over a barrel. But I think he played his heart out. And had he came here, there may be several other guys that wouldn't be here. So you kind of look at that. Had he been here, would Alabama have a championship? I don't know. Nate Oates has taken the chemistry that he has and put together an unbelievable team. But Walford, you have to give him credit. He played hard last night.
I think Sweet 16, Elite 8, hey, it'll be a happy year anyway. If it ended in the first round, it's still been a great year.
It has. They've added hardware. Anytime you play and you add hardware to the trophy case, it's a good season when you play in the SEC. But to make a nice run and a deep run and to get to a level we've never been to, or at least to a level that we've been to before, would be a icing on the cake for this basketball team. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate you being a part of the program, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, coming back on the other side, we'll get to Tom. If you have any thoughts, comments, a word of the day, good, bad, ugly, that you want to add to the program, give us a call at 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business. Taco Casa, quality, taste, value under the biggest cactus in town. Check them out for lunch and or dinner. That's tacocasa.com.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, so far so good as we begin this Monday morning. In Tuscaloosa, no wrecks reported on highways or the interstate, but some light drizzle falling, so make sure you drive carefully as you make your way into the office this morning. From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, I'm Meg Summers. Take advantage of big savings and huge rebates now with a stimulus sale at Townsend Nissan at Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard, right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Hey, Alabama, I'm attorney overpaid.
Do you want an attorney that you will only see on TV or a billboard? I'm attorney Stephen Mizraino with the Mizraino Law Firm. And you won't only see my face on TV, but you'll also see me in the courtrooms, at the settlement table, and by your side. If you've been injured, call me, 205-206-6300. That's 205-206-6300. My number one priority is to take care of you and your family's needs.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than other lawyers. This is Renee. Happy to be here. She's not some influencer. She's more of a groundbreaker, turning her 4-acre lot into a little slice of heaven behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Renee runs with us because the most important job is the next one.
That's all I got.
Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Here you go, Martin. You're hot in 3, 2.
Welcome back in. Overflow Express Wash. You heard them talked about in the break. Overflow Express Wash. Targeting the 1st of April for that Northport location located just up on the hill as you approach Chick-fil-A right there on the right off of Highway 82, McFarland Boulevard. But the current location on Skyland Boulevard, right next door to Town Square Media and right next door to Alabama 1, is open for business. They would love to serve you, helping you keep your car clean inside and out. That's overflowexpresswash.com. All right. We asking for your good, bad, and ugly. What's your one word to describe this team? We also ask how deep this team can go into the playoffs. Will it be a first round exit? Round 2? We didn't ask it on the poll question. And CJ warning us, don't sleep on Iona. They have an opportunity. They've only played 17 games, 12-5. 12-5. So not a lot of data out there in comparison to most teams. 12-5, 6-3 in tournament play, but won their conference championship and on a 6-game win streak. Could be a very dangerous team in terms of a first round out. So Alabama has to be on their P's and Q's and play well to get past this team. And then they'll be looking at a Maryland-UConn potential matchup. Alabama doesn't have an easy road to get there, but I think they have the mentality and the mindset to get there. Let's get to Tom. Tom, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, man?
Morning, Mark. How are you this morning?
Doing well, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. One thing that you brought up about the 92 team, and that being the term bridge team applied to them, I don't like that term for the 92 team. And I've told you this many times, but anything less than the best ever on 92 just doesn't fit. And
I agree, but I'm biased.
The 92 team still stands as the as what every team ought to aspire to be. But I wanted to share something with you. And 92 football team and this basketball team have this particular characteristic in common, in my opinion. And I was talking to a kid that played at Mississippi State, and we were talking about the 92 team, and the 92 team was full of pranksters. I mean, that was a loosey goosey and have fun no matter what team. And I found that out, kind of after the fact. But you lived it, and you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And Coach Stallings, it freaked him out. I've heard this, that it freaked him out because because they were so loosey-goosey, pranking each other all the time, and he didn't get it. And I think some of the leadership players had to go to him and say, hey, look, this is just who this team is. You just kind of got to roll with the flow and let them be who they are. And correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I've heard that. But anyway, the point I wanted to make was I was talking to this young man, and he played at Mississippi State. He was a good ball player. And he said, the thing about Bama that really chaps my rear end, and he said, you'll look over there on the sideline, they'll be behind. And said, they'll be over there laughing and joking, pushing and shoving and carrying on and having fun. He said, then the next thing you know, you've lost to them. I always got a kick out of hearing him say that. But it was true. And it goes to my point is the 92 team had a will to win like no other. It don't matter if we were over at Starkville. You remember that game with Mississippi State? Greg Plump came in the game and went off, and after we had intercepted 2 or 3 passes and recovered fumble. You remember that game?
Yeah.
And we got down on it, and then we really had to gut check it. They had this massive size offensive line, and Copeland and Curry, they had to gut it out to win that game. And the will to win of the 92 team has always been my favorite characteristic of the 92 team. They just wasn't going to lose. And this basketball team reminds me, and they have a little of that characteristic about them. You may get us down, but we are not going to go easy because we want to win. And I want to get your take on that comparison between the 92 team and this team. And because another thing they got in common, at 92, Alabama had been tumbling down the cliff of losing and not winning for a long time. The 92 team come in and got us up off the mat, went right back up to the mountaintop where we're supposed to be, similar to what this team has done.
Yeah, I think so. Virgil Williams said he calls it a family. That's kind of what you described it. These guys, top to bottom, including walk-ons, truly seem to move each other and are a family, with Big Bro Herb keeping them all in line. I would agree in terms of some of the similar characteristics. Tell them, and I'll take it a little deeper. If you go back and look at that 92 team, there was a lot of Alabama guys on that team with a few guys from the outside that matter. And I think playing for that Crimson jersey meant something to that 92 team. And that's part of what drove us, because we were playing for that Crimson jersey, not just for the NFL. And I'm not knocking any of the guys now. I'm not knocking where the football program has gotten to. But I'm often concerned about what happens if Alabama ever has a bad season. Will these guys really care about playing with pride for the Crimson Tide? And I think you have a lot of that with when we had a bunch of seniors. We had a bunch of 4th and 5th year guys that were Alabama guys on that national championship team in 92, had spent a lot of time together. And I think that's what you have with Herb and Reese and Petty. You have 3 Alabama guys who came here to do what? They came here to right the ship, to take this program, and they came back for their senior year, and they've played a lot of basketball, and they love each other, and they love this program. And I think that's what you see. They hit a home run with getting a lunch pail type of coach who knows how to get the most out of his players in Nate Oates. And the word that I have, Tom, that describes what you were talking about was relentless. This team is relentless on the drive. They're relentless when they drive the ball. They're relentless on shooting threes. They're relentless on defense. They're relentless in effort. This team, you have to play 40 minutes, and it is an intense 40 minutes. I mean, you cannot take a breath. You think about how good LSU played yesterday. Think about, I mean, they had their three best players, Tom, play like their best game of the season. Trendon Walford had double his season average yesterday.
You see why Coach Petway and others were begging him to come to Alabama, I do. And I tell you what, I love Watford. I think he's a fine talent and a fine young man. I like everything about it. The only thing I don't like is he didn't come to Alabama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't hate him for that. That doesn't make him a bad ball player.
Right. But this team, you think about, and go back to the Tennessee game, Tom. Tennessee led that game. Alabama was up 2-1. Okay. For the next 35 minutes, Alabama chased them, or 30 plus minutes. Tennessee was up front and looking to be in control of the game.
Yes.
And the next thing you know, to that Mississippi State guy's point, he said, you look up and you're winning, and you look at them and they're like just playing and having fun. And then the next thing you know, you look up and you lost to them.
You lost the game, yeah.
I mean, that's what happened to Tennessee.
I want to go good and bad and ugly.
Go ahead.
And if you don't mind, and all three of mine are ugly, and it's me. I'm stupid because of the way I behaved here in the Tennessee game. But I'm not, I used to call myself John Q. fan. I'm worse than that. I'm not even John Q. fan. I'm dumb. And this team has made an idiot out of me. I'm thankful for them.
Yeah. It's been fun to watch. Thanks, Martin. Thank you, sir. All right. CJ Watson said his one word would be effort. I like that. Virgil Williams' word was tenacity. D.H. Bates' word is optimistic. Virgil Williams also saying happy. If you got a word, you can post it on @MartinHouston35 or on Twitter or on Facebook. Coming back on the other side, we'll put the finishing touches on this Monday edition of the Martin Houston Show. It's hard to believe we have spring practice starting this weekend. It's Friday, and we haven't even mentioned football this morning because Nate Oates has us talking basketball in March. You gotta love it if you're an Alabama sports fan. You got to love it if you're a basketball fan. And we are enjoying the moment. We will, however, get to some football. There's a lot going on in terms of this spring and what Alabama needs to look at. So we will dig into Alabama football. But right now, the king of the hill, the hot man, BMOC big man on campus, Nate Oates, Herb Jones. And, oh, yeah, congratulations to Quinley for winning the MVP of the SEC tournament. Congratulations to the Alabama Crimson Tide. We'll put the finishing touches on this edition of the Martin Houston Show up next.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no wrecks to report so far on this Monday morning. There is a chance, however, throughout the day for severe storms, so make sure you stay weather aware and download our station app for the latest. From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, I'm Max Summers. Take advantage of huge savings and big rebates now with a stimulus sale at Townsend Nissan on Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good morning. Quick action by volunteer firefighters in Centerville kept a burning pile of wood at a sawmill from becoming something worse. It's the second large fire in a week in the mid-county town and the sixth in recent weeks, which is concerning residents. A residential fire in Northport Sunday extensively damaged a home in Carrollwood Estates. That's just off Mint-Larry Road in Northport. There were no injuries. Cause of the fire still under investigation. And Bama basketball off to March Madness after an 80-79 win over LSU in the SEC championship game. I'm Don Herkley.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
Good morning, Privates! Good morning, I mean, seriously, what a pleasant morning. The sun is shining and the birds are chirping. You seem to be in a good mood today. Astute observation.
He's probably happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
They're even shaped like hearts. So, in lieu of the obstacle course today, I propose a nice meditative nature walk. Does that sound delightful to everyone? Yes, Sergeant!
Happy Heart Shapes are back for a limited time. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
O'Reilly. This is Jesse's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
As a nurse, not making it to work was not an option. But driving through the snow with my wiper blades struggling, I just didn't feel safe. So I pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts, and before I knew it, an employee was offering to install the wiper blades on my car. I got to stay out of the snow for a moment, and I still made it to work on time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Run with us on a John Deere Z365 RC track mower, built for taking it easy. With the Easy Change 30-second oil change system and standard mulch control to control your clippings without any extra effort. Because lawns aren't just for mowing, they're for living. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a new Z300 Series zero-turn mower with 0% APR for 24 months at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 1-800-226-8903.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
You have about 5 minutes here, right now.
Give us a call over at Alabama One Insurance. Alabama One Insurance, your one source for all your insurance needs. You can visit us online at alabamaoneinsurance.com. Auto, home, life, and commercial. We'll give you a free true review where we'll look at your insurance solutions and provide you with all of the information you need to make the right decision. And that's hassle-free, no obligation. alabamaoneinsurance.com, or give us a call at 205-342-0112, 205-342-0112. All right, we had a little conversation, Joe. I didn't get to get your word for the day. What's the what's your word to describe this team?
Oh, I've been thinking about it. It's something about gritty stands out to me, just based off the two wins against Tennessee and LSU. I mean, obviously they were in control from the start against Mississippi State, but to go down to Tennessee and really down to LSU in the same fashion, gritty. The team just dug both games away, never gave up, and never really let the situation determine their outlook. Just kept digging away at the defensive end. Gritty probably is my word for the weekend.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I can tell you my word was relentless. And when you watch this basketball team, Joe, I can remember times past, I would have just I would have went on and did something else when we fell down by 15 to Tennessee. I mean, but I felt like we were going to, I said, we're going to come back and win this game. I mean, I said, we're playing really bad. We're not bad. We're just not playing great. Shots aren't falling, but you don't feel like we're out of this game. And then you just watch them time after time after time take body blow from LSU and respond. A couple of things. There really wasn't any bad I saw in that game. Just a couple of good things. And I like this. I'm going to tell you who's becoming one of my favorite players because I'm enjoying this season, but looking into next year. And if you don't love watching Herb Jones play basketball, you don't understand what basketball really is. Think about the LSU game, Joe. He got the rebound took it coast to coast, knowing and understanding that Trendon Walford had 4 fouls. He did not hesitate. He went straight at him to either foul him out and get the free throws and know that he wouldn't be available on the other end of the court, or we'd be looking potentially at a 1-point lead or tie game, or we lose it at the free throw line. Then he comes back and puts defense on him. The guy who had been driving the entire game, he made him take a shot, an errant three-ball air ball. Perfect basketball, right? Both ends of the court. But I love that effort, and I'm going to leave. This is kind of that hanging Chad thing. You know who reminds me of him that I'm excited that he's growing up right now, and we may have hit lucky with Bruner being out? Juwan Gary is that same. He's not as talented. I'm not saying that yet. Please don't hear me. But you know that mindset, that lunch pail type of attitude that I think Herb bought into, and it's now permeated the whole team. Does Gary have a little bit of that to you?
100%. Gary is a big energy guy.
Yes.
He brings it off the bench, and he lifts the team whenever he gets in there on offense and defense. I love it.
I love to watch him play, and I think he's, like I said, I think you're going to have to replace certain elements that you have to replace every year. And when Herb is gone, you're going to need somebody that brings that type of energy and effort on both ends of the court. And he's kind of like Herb. He doesn't have a whole lot of offensive game right now, but he gets his points by working hard, effort, and then he gives you great energy on the defensive side of the ball. There's so much more to talk about this this basketball team. We'll do that tomorrow with DC Capstone Report. We'll also start talking a little spring practice as well. I'm Martin Houston. That's Joe Gaither. Thanks to Tom, Pat, Robert, and all of you who interacted on chat and on Facebook and Twitter. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. right here on your home for Alabama Sports Tide 100.9. And remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your
Thank you, sir.
Sports Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Tide 100.